You're a free agent. Are you looking for the next chapter of your life, or are you staying ready in the event that the right playing opportunity does present itself? Where's your head at now?
I still want to play. I still got some tread left on the tires, and Andy, Coach Reed kind of sat me down, and he told me that you still can play, and it's just about the right situation, and it's just so tough for running backs right now, man. You have a lot of running backs that's out there, and we just don't get no love. It's literally the worst position to play in the NFL right now.
And that, of course, as you guys know, that quote this week came from Melvin Gordon, who is currently on the Kansas City Chiefs roster. He was previously on the Denver Broncos roster. And he was previously on the LA Chargers roster, so he's clearly trying to make his way through the AFC West. Okay, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the Be Easy Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Be Easy, Brian Amaduru, and we're going to be talking about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, running backs. And I'm going to talk about, as the title says, why running backs matter, right? So this is not a live show. Unfortunately, it's not a live show, so I won't be able to go back and forth with you guys banter live. But I would really appreciate if you guys left a comment below and just kind of have some conversation, right? I want to hear what you guys have to say. I kind of heard what a lot of you guys had to say. I have been putting some posts about running backs lately, but I kind of want to hear what you guys have to say about my opinion on why running backs matter. And of course, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I believe the QR code is right there, right above Josh Jacobs' head, who we're going to be talking about a lot. We're going to talk about all these running backs you see on the screen today. And we're going to talk about why running backs actually matter, because they do. Running backs do matter. And look, man, like there was once upon a time where running backs were the focal point of an offense for a vast majority of teams in the league. Everybody wanted to find that next Jim Brown, that next Walter Payton, that next Emmitt Smith, that next Earl Campbell, whoever, the next Adrian Peterson, right? And at some point, obviously, the game changed into this passing era we're in now. And I get it. I understand why the running back position has been diminished and devalued. But I'm here to tell you right now that running backs still definitely matter. And when I mean running backs, I'm not talking about the running backs by committee. They matter too. And that's usually the excuse, or that's usually the reason why people think running backs shouldn't be paid as much, or they're not as valuable as other positions. I'm talking about the elite guys, and we're going to talk about that today. The elite running backs need to be paid, okay? Because those guys are the focal points on their teams. And guys like Fred Taylor, you see on the screen, he was the focal point of those Jaguars teams. Literally the reason why sometimes the Jaguars won football games, right? Another guy we could talk about right now, honestly, is a guy named Josh Jacobs. Raider fans, you are very, very, very familiar with him. And look, Josh Jacobs, man, take a look at this. Take a look at the importance of Josh Jacobs as we see the bus, my guy right there, running through Urlacher right there. But take a look at this real quick, right? Josh Jacobs, right, was the identity of an offense that clearly none this year. He accounted for 50% of the team's touches from scrimmage, which was the highest percentage in the league and nearly 37 points above the next Raider, whoever that was. His 93 rushing first downs were 24 more than anyone else in the league, and equaled or surpassed teams like the Vikings, the Dolphins, the Chargers, Colts, Texans, and Rams, Bucks, and Jets, right? Josh Jacobs, who was the leading rusher this year, the leading rusher in the NFL, right, accounted for 50% of the team's touches from scrimmage. 50%, right? Okay, and like he was probably the reason why, and he was one reason why they won a game, because he scored about 2 game-winning touchdowns. But he was probably the reason why the Raiders were even relevant this year, why they were even in game, why they didn't finish in last place in the AFC West. They were still in the playoff hunt, I believe, until the last couple games, if I'm not mistaken, right? So Josh Jacobs is a guy, and what do the Raiders do? They franchise tag him. We're going to get to that in a minute. I want to show you another guy, right? I want to show you some other numbers. Everybody knows who Christian McCaffrey is. Christian McCaffrey, again, arguably the best back in football. Some say he is. I don't think he's the best back in football, but if you do, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you if you think Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in football. Christian McCaffrey got to the 49ers, I believe, in week 9. Or he started in week 9, I believe. He got the trade deadline was week 7 or 8. The 49ers were 3-4. 3-4 when they started. Well, guess what? When Christian McCaffrey got there and started balling out, they're 11-0. Like a perfect 11-0 since the trade deadline. Obviously, they lost to the Eagles, where they lost their quarterback, and Christian McCaffrey had to play Wildcat, and he still actually played pretty well in that game, which kind of shows his value to the football team, right? And Christian McCaffrey did so much. I don't think people realize, even though I do think people realize how important he was to that offense. Just how important Christian McCaffrey was for the development of Brock Purdy, the play action fakes, right? The schemes that Kyle Shanahan could have run with a guy like McCaffrey, an elite running back in this league, right? Christian McCaffrey, like running backs are so important and such an integral part of the team and the offense. They open up things, they open up the passing game, right? They constrict things inside the box. But I don't want to get too technical to why the running back position is important, because I don't want to get into that. I can talk about that all day, but I'm not going to bore you with that stuff. Just understand how important elite running backs are to their football teams. Let's go to another guy, Saquon Barkley, right? Who's looking for a new deal, who's they want a franchise tender this guy. You guys don't know the franchise tender right now for running backs, I believe, is 10.1, which is literally the third lowest out of any position in football, right? Only lower are kickers and punters, which is about 5.2, I believe. Okay, and that's just insane for how important Saquon Barkley was for a guy like Daniel Jones, who got paid. I believe he was getting paid around $40 million a year, right? Let's take a look at how Daniel Jones is with Saquon Barkley and without. Let's take a look, right? With Saquon or without Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones has a passer rating of 77.3, 3,768 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 17 picks in 19 games without Saquon Barkley. With Saquon, when he's in there, when he is productive, right? Daniel Jones' passer rating shoots up, the yards obviously shoot up, the touchdown interception ratio is vastly better in 35 games with Saquon Barkley. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about the value Saquon Barkley can add to your offense and helping your young quarterback develop? Now I understand Brian Daboll had a lot to do with the development of Daniel Jones. He was great. Brian Daboll is going to be great with Daniel Jones. But I'm telling you right now, that doesn't happen if Saquon Barkley does not rush for over 1,300 yards, right? And I'll have over 1,600, 1,700 yards from scrimmage, right? The best season he's had since rookie year. I understand Saquon has had some injury history, but when he's in there, he's one of the best backs in football. In my opinion, he is an elite running back in this league, right? Let's take a look at another guy, right? King Henry, Ryan Tannehill, right? A little different, but let's see how Ryan Tannehill is without Derrick Henry, right? Without Derrick Henry, that's what it is. Without Henry, Ryan Tannehill is pretty average. 93.1 passer rating, 50 touchdowns, 28 picks. Like, it's not bad. But when he's with a guy like a Derrick Henry, another elite running back, everything shoots up, right? Everything improves. He's an even better quarterback when he can play action fake to that 6'5", 250-pound behemoth coming downhill at you, right? So it just goes to show you how important a guy like a Derrick Henry is to his offense and to his middle-of-the-pack quarterback, if I may, right? And it just, again, these running backs I have mentioned today are elite, right? They're not just a run-of-the-mill. And I understand that that's usually the argument people make when it comes to running backs is that, oh, you can find a guy off the street, you can find this guy. Yes, you can, but at the same time, I'm talking about the elite running backs, the best players on your team. If the elite running back, who I have showed, are the best players on your football team, obviously Michael Vick here is not a running back in some ways. Like, Why should they not be fairly compensated like the rest? They should be, right? They should be fairly compensated, like a left tackle who's the best, who may not be the best player on the team, but a pretty important player on the team, right? Should be compensated like a wide receiver who may not be the best player on the team, but it's important to the quarterback, right? But the running back is as well. The guy like Chris Johnson you see on your screen there, who didn't have a lot of help around him, ran for 2,000 yards for his team with not the best help, with not the best quarterback or receivers around him. Best player on your team needs to get paid. The elite running backs need to get paid. And that's the part that I try to harp on. Right? I understand you can find running backs in the 6th, 7th round, 4th round, 3rd round. You could do that with a lot of positions, right? It's not just running backs. So you got to stop acting like running backs are the only positions that don't get drafted or get drafted randomly and find success. Even though this last draft, a running back was picked in the top 10 and the top 15 with Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs at number 12, I believe, right? So running backs are still valued at some point, right? They're still valued. They're getting drafted high, right? It's just when they become elite, pay them. If they become elite, pay them. Pay Josh Jacobs. Pay Saquon Barkley. They're elite running backs who are important to your football team, to your quarterbacks, as you can see, right? Derrick Henry, important to your quarterback, right? So, Christian McCaffrey already got his money. He got $16 million, which is a pretty big penny. And look, he got paid. For an elite running back, he got paid, but it's still lower than the tight end, the highest paid tight end. It's still lower than the highest paid right tackle. It's still lower than the highest paid by a large margin, the highest paid wide receivers. And obviously, quarterbacks can't do much, right? So we're not even going to get to that. John Elway's not a running back. But, it's just one of those situations, man, where, running backs and Adrian Peterson, for example, this run right here was his 2,000-yard run, right, where he went off that year. He was the focal point of that team, got his team to the postseason, right? By himself, really, with I believe that Christian Ponder at quarterback, right? So it's supposed to show you the value of running backs. Canadian Tomlinson right there, Mr. Everything, MVP of this league in 2006. So running backs have been MVPs as well. Sean Alexander. Sean Alexander. No, Sean an MVP? I don't think he was. Yeah, he was. Sean Alexander, LT, Marshall Falk were all MVPs. The only MVPs, only non-quarterback MVPs since 2000 were Adrian Peterson, Sean Alexander, LT, and Marshall Falk. Right. So again, value of the running back, elite guys need to be paid. That's all I'm asking. The elite guys need to be paid, right? Because the elite guys are huge cogs. Are integral parts of your football team, and they need to be fairly compensated because of that. Running backs do matter. All right, I got my soapbox, and that's all we got for you guys, man. I appreciate you guys watching. I really, really do. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's the QR code right there. And again, please leave your comments below. Please pause it, subscribe, leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the show. Let me know if things I can improve on, if you can hear me, if the music's too loud, whatever it may be. Topics you want to talk about. I'm a big college football fan, so I'm going to talk a lot of college football once that starts ramping up a little bit. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.